What I'm about to share with you is probably the perfect strategy for dominating your market online. But, and this is a big but, it's not going to happen overnight. And you're either going to need a good budget or a lot of manpower to pull this off. If you can execute this, there's no reason you won't be making 7 figures plus. Intrigued? Keep watching. At this point, I'll assume that you have a website selling a product or service, you have an idea of the kind of content you want to produce, and probably the kind of targets that you want to link to those content pieces. Your next concern is actually going to be continually acquiring links. So if you can master that and earn valuable white hat links in that way, I'd be surprised if anybody could stop you from eventually dominating your market. It may take a while to do it. It may take 6 months to get traction, about 12 months to start to see results, and then about 2 years before you actually dominate the market. The only way you wouldn't is if somebody had a much larger budget than you and they were also using a very effective white hat techniques like this. But assuming that there isn't anyone doing that, and more often than not there isn't, what if I told you there was a way to acquire just as many links as you need, practically almost on autopilot, with the exact anchor text and the exact audiences directed to just the right content pieces on your site or just the right pages. Now, what I'm describing probably sounds a bit like a PBN, but it's far from a PBN and doesn't carry anywhere near as much of the risk. I would argue it's probably a hell of a lot more effective and beneficial for your business in the long term as well. I don't run any PBNs, so I've never seen the long-term effects of them, but I would be surprised if that would outperform this particular method and if it would be safer. Not to mention, it's a lot less of a headache from what I've seen. If getting long-term consistent results and being able to sleep at night without worrying about Google penalties appeals to you, then you should watch till the end of this video. It's a strategy that I know for a fact is being used by a major conglomerate. There's no reason why a smaller to medium-sized business can't use a strategy like this, and if they're willing to invest heavily in content creation and willing to wait a long time for results, I mean it's a 2-year strategy, then it's definitely worth utilising this. Now, we're going to use something that we call microsites. So the aim is to have a setup like this, where you'll have 5 websites in total. 4 of them will be microsites that you can see here, and 1 will be the kind of money site, the main site that is selling your product or service. So let's start off with this hypothetical example. Say, for instance, we have a website selling garden furniture products. We could create 4 microsites around that area, which is centered around audiences who are likely to be interested in the core product. For that reason, it's important to really know who your target customers are, because that will come in handy when selecting the right type of sites. For instance, for microsite 1 here, we could then set up something around gardening tips, how-to guides. You could create content around things like treating lawns, companion planting, allotments, that kind of thing. People who basically take care of the garden are also likely to want some garden furniture as well, so they can enjoy it, that kind of thing. The second microsite could be something around home DIY, not directly related to gardens, but an audience who have an interest in maintaining the home. They may be interested also in tidying up the garden and maintaining it as well, but probably you wouldn't want the content so advanced that they can construct their own furniture. You know, it's really just for the hobbyist, somebody who does the odd jobs around the house. Microsite 3 could be something around home and garden decor, styling, that kind of thing. It could go into content around interior design, the styling aspect to the home and garden. This would be a kind of style-conscious audience, probably likely to have expendable income and more likely to purchase our core products to match the style and theme of the house as well, of the garden, sorry. And also, when they're entertaining people in the garden, they can show off, so that's a good kind of audience to build. Microsite 4 could be a family lifestyle blog centered around family activities, days out, keeping kids occupied on holidays, that kind of thing. It's a family conscious audience. They want to get the kids out of the house. They may spend a lot of time in the garden, hence they may update the garden and the furniture from time to time. So you kind of get where I'm going with this. You can start some of these from scratch. You can build the microsites from the ground up. Alternatively, it's a faster method to just find existing blogs which have potential. They may already be producing some really decent content. The site could have a bit of age and authority to it, and you could just buy the site. You could find something suitable for this on Flipper or various other website brokers. Some of the things you need to consider when you're doing a strategy like this. So the first thing is content creation and managing that content. You're going to need a budget for this purely because of the volume of content you're producing. You're talking about at least 500 posts over the space of 2 years. To save a bit of time and effort and to streamline the process, you could just hire somebody to be in charge of content for each microsite. Just makes it a bit easier. And for instance, if you bought somebody's blog from them, you could just then pay them a small salary to continue creating content like they did for the site. The only difference is they now work for you. Next is timelines. I would advise 5 posts per month. So that's 1 article per site per week. And the extra one is actually rotated amongst the 4 microsites. So essentially it is 5 pieces per week across all the sites. The next thing is links. You need to be careful where you link. You're going to produce 500 content pieces over the space of 2 years, but you may only want to link in 300 of them. The reason being, you're only going to want to link to your core site where it's contextually relevant and where it's natural. Otherwise, it just doesn't look right. Theoretically, you could link in all 500 if they were all contextually relevant in some way. Also, you want to continue to build your own links on top of the ones that you're creating yourself within your network. It should be a mixture of both, building links to the microsites and also directly to the content on the core site. Also budget, which I've already mentioned, but 5 posts per week means you're going to be producing 500 content pieces. And bear in mind, I'm saying these content pieces have to be the best of the best. I mean, these need to be really good content pieces. It needs to be, ultimate guides, possibly videos, this kind of thing. Infographics could work well as well. But the thing to remember is when you get to that stage where you've got 2 years worth of links and the results will have compounded so much that it will pay off so many times over, despite the financial outlay, it is worth it in the long term. But I mean, this strategy isn't for everyone, and to execute this properly, you're probably going to have to spend in total just in the region of a 6-figure sum to really do this properly. But if you have the cash flow and you're dominating your market, means you're solidifying a 7 or 8 figure annually recurring business, then really it is a no-brainer. Thanks for taking the time out to watch this video. If you want to continue watching them and want me to keep making more of these, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.